From cargo ships full of crack to drug mules on planes, we explain how drugs get to the U.S. Fact: the U.S. is the largest importer of all illegal drugs. It is very conducive to smuggling activities, said Anthony Coulson, the Assistant Special Agent in charge of the U.S. Drug Enforcement Agency's district office in Tucson. Quote, once they've defeated the fence or the car barriers, a vehicle can spread out and go on dirt trails, on washes, dry beds, seasonal streams, up to their stash location where they'll drop off their product. Methods of smuggling drugs: via ship, usually in cargo freight containers that will be held in large shipping containers and then shipped to their destination. Via air, either in freight where they are secretly stashed somewhere in luggage, or with passengers, or mules as they call them. The mules are usually younger men and women looking to make quick cash, or people abducted and forced to transport the narcotics on their body. This way, only the mule is caught should the drugs ever be detected. Or in harsher cases, the mule is killed without hesitation, and the narcotics are then removed from the body. The mule either swallows the drugs. In these cases, the person is then killed in order to cut up the stomach and remove the product. The mules will also hide it on their person, typically in body cavities such as the anus or vagina. Narcotics are also stashed in luggage, or in some cases it will be stashed in food. In one case, it was hidden inside tamales. Through small boats or light aircraft, landing illegally and evading the usual customs checks. The smugglers rely heavily on lightweight aircraft. Typically, it will be a single pilot who drops the load at their stash location where it is later picked up by the transporters on the other side. Through packages posted from source to the U.S. Through smaller airports where the security is not as strict, cannons have also become a popular method. The drugs are shot over the border where the area is not as monitored. Although catapults are not as popular, they are also used. The drugs are catapulted from small vehicles over the barrier to reach the transporters on the other side. Catapults and cannons are usually used on the Mexican-U.S. border. Tunnels are also methods of transportation. The drugs are usually carried as tunnels are too small to fit vehicles. Drugs can also be traded via the dark web, illegal websites that cannot be sourced by the government. Due to that, illegal drugs are advertised and sold. Arrangements are later made to deliver the narcotics. Drug cartels have utilized new ways to distribute their supply and continued operating through their force and intimidation. The main providers are Venezuela, has been a path to the United States and Europe for illegal drugs, originating in Colombia through Central America, Mexico, and Caribbean countries such as Haiti and the Dominican Republic and Puerto Rico. Cocaine produced in Colombia and Bolivia have been increasingly shipped via West Africa. Cargo planes are now also used for transport from the production countries to West Africa. Before this, cocaine was only shipped to the U.S. because the market became so saturated. Illicit drug traders decided to increase shipping to Europe. The agents that deal mostly with the illegal drug transportation are the DEA, the high-intensity drug trafficking areas program created by Congress with the Anti-Drug Abuse Act of 1988 provides assistance to federal, state, local, and tribal law enforcement agencies operating in areas determined to be critical drug trafficking regions of the United States. The DEA has 589 authorized special agent positions dedicated to the program. This program allows the areas affected by drugs a chance to fight the movement of narcotics. The Coast Guard is the lead federal agency for maritime interdiction and co-lead with the U.S. Customs for air interdiction. The Department of Defense provides vital support to the national effort to reduce the flow of illegal drugs into the United States by performing detection and monitoring operations. Customs also conducts detection and monitoring missions in the transit zone, as well as taking direct action against traffickers. The Office of National Drug Control Policy is a component of the Executive Office of the President, responsible for running the federal government's anti-drug programs. They help monitor what the other agencies do and provide any assistance if needed.
Money is power, especially in the case of criminals. The more money we have, the more power we have. People use money to get what they want. Criminals use money to get people to commit acts of crime in their favor. Some of the really good and most notorious criminals were even listed on the top wealthiest people in the world. Take El Chapo, for example. The main ways these criminals are able to keep this legally obtained money that they acquire is by money laundering. Money laundering is the act of transforming money that was illegally obtained, and they usually do this through the process of using foreign banks and legitimate businesses. El Chapo is possibly one of the most powerful Mexican drug lords. He is one of the most wanted criminals in the world to date. El Chapo's net worth is about $1 billion. He gets his products produced by using local farmers in Mexico to grow large amounts of opium and marijuana. He rewards them by giving them favors and granting them other expenses. Some criminals have so much power that they use their money to get out of things like staying or going to jail. They live freely, moving in between multiple safe houses around the world. In 1993, El Chapo was caught and sentenced to 20 years in a maximum security prison. But he did not live like most prisoners did. El Chapo bought off mostly all of the prison staff. While locked up, he received special treatment from the guards. They allowed him to do whatever he wanted, such as smuggle contraband into the prison. When it became apparent that the U.S. was trying to extradite him, El Chapo bribed a handful of prison staff to sneak him out in a laundry basket in 2001. Since then, El Chapo has been on the run. No other criminal sitting in a maximum security prison would have been able to just talk their way out of prison. They would need the influence of money to gain power, therefore giving them a way to escape prison. Money gets you friends in high places that'll grant you favors.
Drug traffickers, like many other organized organizations, use hitmen to get their hard jobs done, to minimize the death on their side. The word for such men is a sicario in South America, basically mercenaries, but with higher skills set and payroll. To drug traffickers, they are worth it. They are loyal, quick, and efficient, the best money can buy. Even a trained soldier would struggle, if not fail, to survive an encounter, due to the sicarios being trained as they are, as well as the experience they possess. As mentioned, drug traffickers are powerful, and even though they have many tools, their most powerful and efficient one is fear. Cartels strike fear into their enemies and those of the state, including the people. The fear placed on people's mind prevent them from acting, for they fear death. This makes it harder for those in the cartel to be incarcerated. Since there is no testimonies, the only evidence left is real evidence. And even so, cartelists know what they are doing. They use special people who clean up messes that are left behind. They can get rid of all evidence. Of course, this mostly goes for smaller runs, who have not made a name for themselves yet, but are still protected by the name of their cartel. The bigger fishes, like El Capo, are arrested on encounter and imprisoned. However, citizens do not cooperate due to fear. They know that if they speak, they die. Fear really pushes the people from acting. After all, El Capo's bounty surpasses that of 4 million pesos, which is still a lot in American money value. Fear is also inflicted through torture, public executions, and bombings, all to which innocent people may fall victims to. If a gunfight between the gangs breaks out in the middle of the streets, innocent will get caught under the bullets. The police will not act as fast as it should, for it is bribed. Police nearby may be informed beforehand and stay away, so that when the reports are submitted, no one is the wiser. Most cartels use public executions as a way to show dominance over territory. If someone from another cartel is caught, they are tortured for their information. From waterboarding to electrocution, they are pros. Even worse, they may even leave the bodies as an example for all to see. Perhaps a decapitated body tied to a bridge, or a pile of dead bodies in the streets. And bombing, which gets innocent people killed. For assassinations by detonations may get the innocent caught up in the explosion. The methods used by cartels are not just dangerous, but also fearsome as shown above. It is why all fear the cartels.